Hi everybody and welcome back to Borderlines today. So what I thought I'd do, because obviously over the recent months I've been doing a lot of videos about immigration, stuff to do with crime to do with migration, all that type of stuff. But as we're coming up to Easter holidays, start of the tourism season, I thought I'd do a video about the Isle of Wight. Now, the reason I thought I'd start with the Isle of Wight, and I'm not only going to do the Isle of Wight, I'm going to do a few other places, is every year my kids make them take them on holiday to the Isle of Wight. I normally have to go there once to twice a year, every single year. They won't go anywhere else. And I know people can say, yeah, but what about on the continent? All this type of stuff. They won't go anywhere apart from the Isle of Wight. When we had COVID and the lockdowns, they refused to go on holiday, even though they only go to Buckdean at Shanklin. Okay, they refused to go anywhere else. So what I thought I'd do is look at some of the top attractions on the Isle of Wight, because my father-in-law always says, "Oh, there's nothing on the Isle of Wight. It's boring." That's because you only go fishing. Okay, and the fishing on the Isle of Wight ain't great if you're a coarse fisherman. So here we go. Let's take a look at the Isle of Wight. What can you actually do? Okay, so number one is Osborne House. Okay, Osborne House is obviously extremely famous, primarily for one visitor. Could argue two visitors, but primarily one visitor who went there every single year on our summer holiday. So she would come from London, from Buckingham Palace, down to Gosport. Okay, because she would stay in a particular hotel in Gosport, and then cross over to go to the Isle of Wight, and she go and stay at Osborne House, which is obviously Queen Victoria. Now, obviously, when it comes to Osborne House, okay, generally tickets starting around about the £24 figure. Okay, if you get a National Heritage card, you can do it cheaper as well. Okay, so it's always worthwhile if you're into that type of thing. I always say it's something more for the older generation rather than young families or anything like that. But if you are into historical sites, National Heritage card is always worthwhile. Can't entirely remember how much it costs. I think it's like £100 or something like that. Okay, I know somebody's going to slaughter me for getting the price wrong. Okay, this all comes from TripAdvisor. I know it already. It's so people can see it. Now, Blackgang Chine, I've always said is overrated. Now, this is my personal opinion. Some people may like it, some people may not. I personally think it's extremely overrated when you've got a lot of these other places around the country. You know, whether you're talking about Alton Towers, Chesington, whatever. Okay. It's all right, but I still think it's overrated, personally. Okay, so I don't know why it's in at number two, but it is at number two. Number three, Monkey Haven. Always a good one. Kids love monkeys. If you've got a young family, perfect place to go. Okay, now number four. This should be number one, in my opinion. Number one. Now, Wildheart Animal Sanctuary, which used to be known as the Isle of Wight Zoo. Okay, changed its name recently. It was about 2 years ago. Now, my kids go here every single year. Now, we're on the Isle of Wight at Easter. We go on the 27th of March. Okay. I'll be very surprised if they don't talk my wife into taking them there. Now, as you can see, they have brown bears there now. I think they got them, I think it was last year they got them. Okay. Very good. Now, the only downside I'd say to the Wildheart Animal Sanctuary, it's not very big. Okay. So, realistically, you're looking at a half day trip. So for how much it costs, okay, I personally think it's slightly overpriced when you take into account local zoos. Obviously, you've got Marwell Zoo. That's a day trip. Okay, lots of land, lots of things to do at Marwell Zoo, lots of different animals. Wild Heart Animal Sanctuary is a bit limited, okay, on what they do have there. And like I say, you know, realistically, you could walk around it inside 2 hours. Okay. And that's the only reason why I say it's a bit overpriced. Okay. Um, because there isn't a great deal there, but they have to keep it running at the end of the day. Next ones, you've got God's Hill Model Village, okay, and Carisbrooke Castle. Now, I've never been to Carisbrooke Castle, so I might have to try and check this one in myself. Okay, then Isle of Wight Donkey Sanctuary. Now, this is a banging one. Okay, this is free. It's a donkey sanctuary, so they don't charge you for getting in. Okay, it's between Shanklin and Ventnor. Okay, if you are staying in Shanklin, it's on the bus route. Okay, you can get a bus to this place, and you literally get off the bus and literally walk around the corner. Okay, it's as simple as that. Okay, I think the bus service is like once an hour. I think, maybe mistaken on that, but it's a very good place. Covers a lot of land. They have a heck of a lot of donkeys. Okay, you know, 100, probably even more than that, to be honest. Really good place. So if you want somewhere to go to take the kids, or even if you're a bit older, to be honest, this is a really, really good place to go to, because it ain't going to cost you any money unless you want to make a donation at the end of the day. Okay, and it's as simple as that. Okay, so that's one always worthwhile. Okay, I'm not going to classify the needles. Come on, we all know what the needles are. Okay, next one, Shanklin Chine. This is another one. I went there 2 years ago, I think, and I remember this because me and my wife, we had her niece. Okay, and we said that we were going to take her there. She must have been about 8 at the time, probably about 8. And she said, "Oh, she'll never go to China. She's scared of heights, scared of everything. Never do it." I said, "Yeah, all right. Let's walk her up." So we walk up the hill. So you have to walk down the hill because we were in the old village. You have to walk down the hill to then start walking up. And I said, right. I said to my wife, what I'm going to do? You know, it's the perfect thing. Walk up the hill to the end, okay, so she can see all the waterfalls, and then she can see out to sea. And my wife says, she ain't going to do it. And guess what? Kevin, as usual, was proven right. She goes and does it. So I could stick 2 fingers up to my sister-in-law. It's always a good thing to be able to do that. And she got to do it. Okay, which is a good thing. Now, Shanklin Chine is really good. I would say it's better at night because obviously all the lights and the mist coming off the waterfalls and everything. So if you are going to do it, and you can do it at night, do it at night. You're going to get a better experience. And there's a couple of chines on the Isle of Wight as well. Now, next 2 I'm going to do. I'm not going to do them all because there's so many places to go on the Isle of Wight. Things to do. Is Robin Hill. Robin Hill is good for everybody. Okay. Doesn't matter if you're disabled and in a wheelchair. We took my sister-in-law, my other sister-in-law. She suffers from cerebral palsy, completely wheelchair bound. She had a great time there. Taking my kids there, taking my wife there, taking my precious mother-in-law. Wish I left her there. That's another story. I'll get in trouble for saying that. So this is great for all the family, no matter what your age, because they've got so much there to do. Plenty of land, you know, so if the kids want to go into the park, they want to mess about. I know that they used to have the old rocking ship, you know, it goes like that. Took my son on that. Oh, he would have been, what, about 7 at the time. Scared the life out of him. But he enjoyed it. Okay, so Robin Hill can be a bit on the expensive side. Okay, I'm not going to deny it. It can be. Okay, but if you've got anybody with disabilities, okay, they do give discounts. So, you know, the old thing, carers go free and all that type of stuff. So Robin Hill's good for that if you can take advantage of that. Now, the other one I'm going to speak about, because I've never been to this place, okay, but I've heard good things about it, and my wife and kids want to go there this time we go on holiday, okay, which is Tapnell Farm, okay, which is over by Yarmouth, okay, so it's on the west coast of the Isle of Wight. Now, I've spoken lots of people in the past when we've been on the Isle of Wight, and everybody says, "Oh, you got to go to Tapnell. It's the best thing." Okay. Now, from what I've been told, it's really, really good for kids. So I'm going to read what it says, and I'll probably open it up. It says Tapnell Farm Park, award-winning family day out on the Isle of Wight, looking for fun, things to do on the Isle of Wight with kids. Okay, I don't normally do this. Oh, look at that slide. Okay, so I've been told you got like all your go-karting. So duration 2 to 3 hours. You got animals, obviously being a park. Then you got amusements for all the kids and everything. So I've actually been told this is a day thing to do. Okay, rather than a 2 to 3 hours. I've been told that it's an all-day thing. So I'm going to chuck this one in as another good thing to do. Now, the other two things I'm going to mention on here are things that you're not really going to come up on the list, which is a walk in Shanklin Village. Okay, and when I say the village, I mean the old village. Now, I appreciate a lot of people can say, yeah, but the old village ain't going to take long. And you're right, it's not. You know, so if you're going to the Isle of Wight for the day, you know, you've got some great shops there. You've got some great places to eat there. They've got an award-winning tea room there. And the easiest way for me to explain it is it's in like, you know, what you think of your traditional cottage with the thatched roof and everything. It's pink. It's right at the end as well. It's like the last one, really. Okay. And they have like a fairy garden at the back. Now, going in the garden isn't great during the summer, trust me. And I'm not going to deny it. It is not great because you've got to think about it. It's a tea room. You're going to have cakes, cream cakes. So all your Victoria sponges, your walnut, you know, all that type of stuff. Then kids, jam sandwiches, happy days, buzzy bees. Okay, so if you're not scared of bees, you're not bothered about them, fine, go in the garden. If you are, I would advise do not go in the garden, come in. Okay, so around Easter time, not too bad because the weather's not too warm and everything. You will still get bees, okay, but I would suggest summer, try and avoid it. Okay, there's also a very well known Christmas shop there, and the typical things that you expect in a holiday resort. Okay, those types of shops, and it's a great walk, and it's got a well known sweet shop as well, which sells garlic farm stuff, which I love. So if you're into your chutneys and your jams and everything, it's a sweet shop there as well. Now, the other good one, which can be quite good, okay, is having a stroll around. Right, I was trying to think. Okay, so if you are coming to the Isle of Wight, traditionally you're either coming into Cowes, most people, or you're coming into Ryde. Okay, depending if you're going from Southampton or Portsmouth. And I know some of you are going to say, yeah, but you can go in via Yarmouth, which is completely correct, which is from, is it Lymington? I think it's Lymington. Okay, you can get the ferry from Lymington to Yarmouth. Okay, but if you are coming in to Ryde from Portsmouth, Ryde is always worth having a look at. It's quite a nice village to actually have a look around, having a look around their town centre, and there's some good shops there as well. So if you're with the, I'd actually say if you're with the wife, don't let her go shopping because you will rinse your bank account. Okay, because there are some nice shops around there, and you'll probably be there all day. Okay, and as you come off the fast cat and you come down the pier, there's a really nice cafe right in front of you. There's an Italian as well, which is really good. I've been in there. It's really good Italian. Took somebody on a date there once. It's a long time ago, but not let the wife know about that. But yeah, so there's a really nice Italian there, and it's a really nice cafe right opposite each other. So they're my main hotspots for places to go if you go into the Isle of Wight. And the only other one, even though it only happens once a year, is going for Cow's Week. Okay, so if you're into boats, like my daughter, like my 6-year-old daughter with Down syndrome, Cow's Week. So they're my top picks. Okay, if you can think of something else, put it in the comments. I've got no problem with that. Somewhere I haven't mentioned which you think is well worth pointing out to. But for now, thanks for watching, and I'll speak to you all again a bit later.